Okay, very good. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'm very excited to be sharing my brand new podcast with you and bringing on very special guests that want to share something that's true and dear to their hearts. And we want to learn a little bit more about them. This wonderful young man, bright, progressive, just spectacular guy that I see once a week, every week on my Toastmasters group. He's blown me away from day one. And every time I see him, I'm like, that's who I want to be when I grow up. His name is Benjamin Lorraine Hofrak. I don't want to say Horak.
Heck.
Benjamin Horak. And I present you Benjamin Horak, and we're going to learn a little bit about a project that he's imagining creating. Welcome, Benjamin.
Well, thank you, Karen. It's so wonderful to be on this podcast with you and sharing what my project's going to be all about. So thank you
Oh,
so much.
we're so eager to hear because we all know and love always the things that you're up to. So, from what I understand about you, your background is it is in graphic design, and I know that you're currently learning some programming. And recently, you've signed up with something called a postcard poetry festival. If you'll tell us a little bit about that and why.
Sure.
That
The Postcard Poetry Festival happens every year. The headquarters, I believe, is in Seattle. What the program is you write poems on postcards and send them to 31 people. And right when the festival starts, when you sign up and pay a fee like 25 bucks, you will get a list of addresses, and then you just go down the list and you just got to make sure you get it all done by, I think, end of August. So you get about 2 months to work on a few poems, basically 31 poems. And what's interesting is my address is also on that list, so I will be receiving poetry from 31 other people. So it's a really cool idea. I was also very interested in learning the art of letter writing. And the funny part is like I got all the tools, so I got like all this fun stuff like calligraphy pens and papers and envelopes, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna learn how to do the melting of like the wax and putting your seal in there. I was like, all right, what do I write about?
so beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, I have to write something. I'm
What do
like,
I do now? I
yeah,
spent like $1 million on all these props. No, I'm just kidding. That is so fantastic, Benjamin. And I love
yeah.
that you're so like, you're so young and fresh, but you really do appreciate the classic things. And really, it's like the history of writing and
Hmm.
expression. So I think that's a very beautiful merging, that you're bringing it up again and
Hmm.
bringing it to light and joining it looks like communities that are on this same type of mission. So how did you see this poetry festival advertised? And now I know what the motivator of that is so you can learn what you just talked about. Learning the old style writing
Hmm.
and what are you going to write in these postcards and that there's a concept that you want to come up with too.
Hmm.
So I asked you a lot of things right there, but I'll break it down again. So where did you see this advertised and how I know you have a project too in mind. You said that you want to merge something. So talk a little bit about that, because I remember you
Sure.
mentioning before it was like a summer camp that you imagined.
Yes. So I signed up for the postcard poetry festival, right? So I was like, okay, I'm all jazzed for this. And I got a couple books on poetry already. And I've been a subscriber to Poetry Magazine. So I've always been kind of interested in poetry and reading it. And I learned about this particular event through Pacific Prolific Writer's Life. It's a wonderful resource. I'm actually on it. There's a lot of speakers there. Lorraine, who kind of runs it with her husband, is just fantastic. She's done a great job of curating people and all types of different types of writing activities, from learning from other writers or just collaborating with other writers or just being around other writers. So you can get a great sense of your writing and other people's writing too. So it's a great resource for anywhere in the world because it's online. You don't have to like drive somewhere, which is pretty cool too.
That's how I met you.
Yeah, that's how I
That's
met
what
you.
led me
Yeah.
to you. That's what led me to Rough Writers Toastmasters.
Hmm.
And if it wasn't for Prolific Writers Life, I wouldn't be on this journey right now, actually interviewing you. So I concur. I absolutely celebrate Prolific Writers Life. I'm always so grateful to Dr. Lorraine Hasia that is the founder of this. Continue.
So yeah, so I found it on Pacific Prolific Writers Life. I always want to say Pacific, but it's Prolific Writers
Yeah.
Life. At the same time, I had ordered this device. It's called a U console. Basically, it looks like a giant BlackBerry with a keyboard on it, but it's
Mm.
basically just a mini computer that you can put any operating system on. And I had
Mm.
ordered this like a year ago, and it finally delivered because I guess
Mm.
it was in China and had all these
Maybe they
tariffs.
were building it. Maybe it wasn't even done yet.
Right, they had to
Was it just
build
an
it first.
idea?
Yeah, they had to build it first, and then yeah, I got it. So I was like, okay, this is cool. So there was one thing about it that I wanted to learn on was programming because I wanted to learn how to do more creative programming, getting to like more games and stuff like that. The It kind of drew me a little bit into understanding how a computer terminal works. And a terminal is something that's very scary. When you look at it, it doesn't look like anything you had ever seen before, and yet it can do so much. It's the most nerdiest thing you could ever nerd.
Mm.
But essentially, what it is, it's called a command line interface or CLI. So we always work with a computer that has interfaces like a GUI graphical folders and icons and stuff like that. This is all just text. So you just have to write in stuff to do whatever you want. You can install programs from just writing lines of text, all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
What was interesting was it helped me learn how to do my job better at work. So I was like really interested in that. But then I was also interested in how I can make this into a game.
Mm.
Yeah. And that kind of brings back to something I wanted to do for a long time, which is make a old school text adventure game from like the 70s and early 80s.
Okay.
Nobody, I don't sure nobody in my audience has ever experienced any of these. And there's a good reason for it because I've also tried playing these things and I hate them. I don't know why.
Games? What are these games?
So like the most legendary, most famous one is called Zork. You ever heard of Zork before?
Not at all, but you always make
Okay,
everything sound so interesting. But really quick, let me pause you for a second.
sure.
Now, this has to do with it's merging with the art, learning the
Yes.
poetry, and the idea that you want to create for yourself as this summer camp, right?
Yes, so let
Okay,
me
go ahead.
well fast forward a little bit more so this is
Okay,
more coherent and not going off on a tangent.
thank you.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, not at all. It's exciting to learn. But I
Yeah,
know this
so
is supposed to be a 20-minute show, not a 20-hour show, but
20-hour show. Gotcha.
we'll have
Gotcha.
that soon.
So I was thinking, okay, well I got to do these poetry things and I got to learn how to do this programming thing. So and it's the summertime, so why not call it a summer camp? And I call it the summer camp of code and poetry.
Awesome.
And I want to combine the poetry with the programming and making this text adventure game, which I'm going to call Beneath a Garden.
Wow, you have
And
it already. It's
I
all
got it
over.
already, yeah. So it's basically a game that's basically based on description. So you read what's going to happen and you type in certain commands to interact with the game. So with the
Mhm.
characters and the environment and so forth. There'll be
Mhm.
some images too, but
Mhm.
primarily everything will be done by text.
I have a
And
question.
yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead, go ahead.
So the person when they come to your camp,
Mhm.
what do they already know how to do? Are you teaching them all this?
Okay, well, so okay, here's the other thing. I'm not teaching this is for myself. It's
Okay.
actually an invented idea for myself for today. It's
Okay.
like an envisioning myself. This could be a thing that
Yes, I think so.
I could
It could
carry it
be.
off, right?
I
I could
think
turn
so.
it into a website and people can and collaborate and so forth.
Absolutely.
hmm So my original idea was I would spend time writing poems and also writing code, and then I wanted to and create a project that helps me do both so that
Mm.
the postcard poetry project is its own thing, right? So I have to
Mhm.
write postcards and send them off,
Mhm.
but I also would like to do a project for myself, and I wanted to
Mhm.
incorporate programming, learning programming, and also writing a beautiful poem based prose of a little text adventure game. So that's where I'm
Okay.
at.
This is why I said you make anything sound interesting. Like,
Mm.
I don't know anything about any of that except the poetry part,
Yeah,
and I'm ready to
yeah.
join. I love Benjamin. That's something that I know that there's an audience for. Now, in the beginning, did you say you do know how to write poetry or you don't know yet? Because I feel like it's in you, because I've heard you
I
write.
think it is in me. I just haven't really poured it out
And
much.
that this is the Conduit.
Yeah.
It's Poetry Festival. Where are you at in the process
So
of
I've
the
actually,
poetry, the 31 days?
yeah. Well, it started on July 4th. So I've
Hmm.
actually been brainstorming some ideas of what I want to do. And one things that I like to do is work with paper more. And
Mm-hmm.
so I have some ideas of some basic concepts. You don't have to write like a massive poem, like an epic poem.
Mm-hmm.
What they're asking for is something that's more off the cuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay, that's good for me. And I always ask, like, am I going to make something that sounds terrible? That's the worst thing, right? So,
Mm-mm.
so every postcard will have a theme to it. So one idea is something called the marketplace, and it's a postcard, and I have the poem on it, but I'll put punch holes all around it, and I'll put in price tags all around it, and I'll write poems right on the price tags too. And it's all about how I feel about shopping. A long time ago, when I was depressed, I would just go buy a shirt, and that would make me happy for a little bit. Concepts of, spending too much money, spending not enough money, those types of things, and
So
buying
you're
gifts. And
touching, yeah, you're touching like like topic, like themes that go on in our society,
yeah,
and you're delivering it. Yeah, and it's so functional to what you're doing. It's brilliant. Now, so you've already written, so today is July 13. What have you received? Because it started on July 4th, right? And
July
so
4th, I haven't checked my post box. Maybe I should do that.
that would be a good idea.
Yeah,
So,
I would
because
assume
I'll
it would take a
inspire the
few
next
weeks.
one, maybe. Huh?
I
What
would
was that?
I would assume it'd take a few weeks before I got something, but maybe someone spot off too early, right?
It started on the 4th, the
Yeah,
contest. And so right now, then you've already sent out a few. It's the 13th. So you've sent out like nine already, yes? Are you
I
still going
sent
to send
out
out
like
one?
two.
That's okay, because then you just catch up because you
Hmm
just have to
hmm
do 31. Okay, cool. And how do you feel about those two that you wrote?
Oh, they're good. I think they're good.
I know they're good because I know who you are. People don't know yet, but if I mean, they're getting a feel for you right now. Wonderful. My next question is, I don't know. Let me think on that really quick, Benjamin. So you're having so much fun with this. I think you're on the right path to doing something that truly fulfills you. You're finding a way to organize what you do as far as work, how you make money, but also putting the more creative aspect into it.
Mhm.
And then also you're an entrepreneur. You're going to create something here that probably is going to have a big following, don't you think? I
It's
think.
possible. Yeah, it's possible, especially if creatives interested in creating something interesting.
Now, those creatives that are listening us today, if they were interested, how would they find you? How would they get a hold of you and talk to you directly, maybe and find out more and want to join?
Well, you
How
can
could
go
they
to
find
I do have a website. It's my full name at the moment. So it's
you?
Benjamin, not Lorraine.
Not Benjamin Lorraine? Darn.
It's
Sweet.
Benjamin Thomas Horak. And then from there you can kind of get to see where I'm at. So
Well, so how would they find you? Benjamin Thomas Horak
at
at,
dot com. That's on the website.
okay, at .com.
Sorry, no, benjaminthomashorak.com.
Oh, that is the website. And then Benjamin, B-E for the listeners, because a lot of people are not viewing this. BenjaminThomasHorak
That's
dot com.
correct.
Beautiful. That's your website. And are you on Insta or anything like this? Other social media platforms?
Nope, no social media.
Okay. Would you come back in the future and tell us how this all turned out? Maybe when the poetry festival's over,
Sure,
we
we'll
could
do.
read something live. Is there anything you want to read live to us right now?
No, I'm not gonna
Put
read
you
it
on the
live for you.
spot. What's that?
No, no.
No, that's okay. I love poetry. This is so awesome that you're bringing this up because it's something I haven't talked on also. My father was a poet.
Mm.
And I've realized through the years that I have poetry written everywhere. And so this is something that I actually would be very interested in. And I commend you for always like finding a fresh way to explore and express. So also you are working on a book, I think.
Yeah, so I do have one book that I'm working on. It's called We Don't Touch the Sky, and it's
Mm,
about collective dreaming. So,
it sounds like poetry right there. We
hmm,
don't touch the sky. That could be a
hmm.
title of a
It's a poem
haiku.
right there, yeah.
Mhm. We don't touch the sky. And what's the genre?
It is speculative fiction. It's not science fiction, but
Can
it
you explain
is.
that? I've never heard that term.
So okay, so speculative fiction
Yes,
is kind
speculation.
of the big